is what it is. On the link that you'll see, what we'll be doing just a little bit, you'll put that address in your cache page. So you're referring it to another website, which is perfectly legal.
It is, but if the link is broken, like that owner or that photo on that website chooses to take it down, and all of a sudden your link doesn't go anywhere now. That's why it's better for you to link it to someplace you know that's
right. And that's why I say there's pros and cons. If you link it to a website, there's no, because you don't own the website, you don't take care of it, you don't pay the bills for it. So basically, if that website goes down, you just lost your image. You lost what you were linking to. So your image will no longer show up on geocaching.com. It'll just be one big block, basically, on your cache page with no picture. And if that's your puzzle, you don't have a puzzle anymore. So that's what PhotoBucket's really nice for, Facebook, because you own it, in essence. You own it, you take care of it, you know what's on there, and you can link them that way.
Don't worry, we're going to get to now doing. I'm just going to give you a couple other things out there. We'll bring them up as we create some cache pages here, okay? Avoid the fat cache page syndrome. We've all seen that. You go to a cache page and the picture's so dang big you have to use the scroll bar to see the whole cache page, and you're like, dang, they could have put the picture on a little smaller. Did it have to be that huge? And it didn't have to be that huge. They just didn't know how to resize it to make it smaller. And just for me to make it simple for you, typically you don't want to have any larger than 550 pixels wide. Then it will allow the cache page to be normal size without a scroll bar on virtually any monitor.
Well, for a large image like that, you actually do that as your background and have your text in front, rather than putting a link on a photo. You know what I mean?
We can also resize it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can, but what I'm saying is, if the image isn't that important that you want to have just the image showing, you can actually do a background and have your.
Sure. But it also depends on what monitor you're using.
Yeah.
Certain monitors won't show the background.
Oh, that was
Some of the wider screens show it on both sides.
Okay, okay.
Oh, yeah, so you mean the background behind the cache page. Joyce's question was, you may have noticed this on cache pages, you can have this stuff on the cache page itself, and then there's the background behind the cache page, which, as Tim was pointing out, you can't always see on all computers, all monitors. You have to scroll all the way down the bottom, you see little pictures. As a side note, when I put background, something in the background behind the cache page, again, you don't want it to be a big fat picture. I don't think that's smart. You'll never see it because it's so big. Usually I make those little pictures behind the tiling behind the cache page. I usually make those pictures like somewhere between 100 and 200 pixels big. So then they're small enough so when they scroll the end of the cache page or on the sides of the borders of the cache page, you can actually see those pictures because they're small enough that you can see what there is to see.
On my Hank Aaron ones that I did on the 57 Hank Aaron series, I just used a general picture for the background. I didn't know that I wanted to show the whole picture because I just wanted to show the team.
Yeah, so on Joyce's baseball cache page, you just wanted to put a big picture of the whole team behind the cache page. You couldn't see all the players, but you could see it was a team photo, which you thought was neat, which it is, yeah. Yeah, so let's learn by doing. We're going to choose. We're going to use a couple programs again. We've referred to over and over, and yeah. Yeah, we're going to do. What we're going to do is, if you're lucky enough to own a nice PC at home and you have a very large widescreen, instead of having 2 tabs on your browser, you could pull up 2 browser windows. And you could put the Gizmo Guys page on the left side, and on your right side, the editing page, and you can copy and paste, and you can, that's really ideal, right? If you got one of the widescreen monitors. Joyce knows, so you can have multiple windows up at one time. That's awesome. So anyway, we're going to go over some of these basics, and I see that he was good enough here to put the code already right here. Yeah, the samples. So. Hey, let me just go over some of these and we'll show them. We're going to talk about them over and over again. So we were telling you, like, the first one is paragraph. And we told you that at the beginning of you got an arrow where the P is. And so this last part here goes at the end of the paragraph. It's the same code with the backslash. And again, at the beginning of the paragraph, the paragraph, you're defining it by those two tags, right? Tags. And so then you can tell if we were going to, for that paragraph, if we wanted the font size again to be 4 at the beginning of the paragraph, you can see the code where it says font size equal 4 in quotation marks. And at the end of the paragraph, then you have backslash font. And that says, and please, the font size of 4 at the end of this paragraph. Yeah, these are just nothing you really have to memorize or anything like this, but you will see them as you're working with photographs and that. As you might guess, that the browser has to understand how big the picture is, that kind of thing. All right. Yeah, so we're going to cover a couple other things, like obviously putting pictures is really key, and you might want to put a link on your cache page. You also might want to put a geochecker if you have a puzzle. So we'll cover that stuff now. We're going to go ahead and Tim's going to get us up a split screen here. And if you want to pull up on your own laptop there, these two websites I referred to, the Gizmo Guy website and the 3 Schools website, you don't have to. We can kind of show you as we go here as well. But I love that Gizmo Guy website. It looks a little wordy at first when you pull it up, but again, he shows you how to change the color, the type of font, and it's so easy. You can select and copy, and then we can paste it, and you don't really have to think about it. So now, yeah, we're going to just start getting right to it. We'll show you how to do the 3 steps and doing the getting images, again, acquiring it, storing it, linking it. And then we're going to go ahead and play with some code in our sandbox. So just use that metaphor as sandbox for a place to practice a little bit with it, so we can see what it looks like before we actually upload it to the to geocaching.com.
So basically, the very first and second codes that you don't have to put in there on the geocaching website, but you do when you're doing something along the lines of what I'm doing on the Gizmo Guide website. You don't have to do this either; they're already in there for you. It's basically just telling the browser, "Hey, this is where HTML is starting," and then again that little tag way down at the bottom over here, "Hey, this is where my HTML is ending."
So he's using the is that. Yeah, it's the Notepad++. He likes to use that one, which is cool too. See, so then the right side of the screen is, it's going to show us exactly what we just did.